So this is a match between Anthrax and Kawa, apparently. Anthrax wanted me to cast for one reason or another. Apparently he was impressed with himself. But
I'm impressed with myself, impressed with Kawa. Good piloting from both of us, I felt like.
given the arrangements of the orbital wall versus the ion rammer, I would say on average Kawa rips those apart, but he isn't using his typical blue pages, so I don't know how effective it'll be. Has prisms on the front of his ship? I've never
That's the
understood
other
that.
reason. It's an interesting matchup.
I would say if it was just blue pages, you'd be completely screwed, but it's probably a lot fairer, given that Kawa is using a substandard orbital wall.
So the prisms are for rails because a prism will eat a rail shot.
Yes. The prisms have infinite penetration resist, which means a cannon shell of any sort or a rail shot will just be completely eaten by the prism. I personally think that it's overblown. I think that just using more armor, which is effective against literally everything else, superior, plus it's not expensive. But a lot of people do it, so
So here, both of us with orbital thrust, so struggling to stay on target.
I would say that your ship is going to have the advantage if it ever gets stuck, which is why Kawa immediately abandons that position because he knew that was a very bad thing to be in. And it gives him the opportunity to potentially get behind you. And you don't have any
Which was
armor.
exactly what I was trying to avoid.
Yes, because you don't have any armor, so he's just gonna like kind of instantly win if he gets behind you for long enough. And yes, part of the appeal of the orbital walls, at least when piloted by somebody such as Kawa, is not just like the overwhelming power of the orbital wall, but like being able to instantly flank and change entirely into a different ship type. It is a fantastic trick if you are capable of taking advantage. And Kawa is in a bad position because once you're rammed, it's really hard to get off because you only have forward thrust. So I think Kawa definitely loses this from here. He can't flank anymore.
The problem is I'm in a big, slow ship, and he's in a fast, squirrely ship that he can barely control, but because he's a great pilot, manages to do well enough.
I mean, you say that, but he's currently dying. Like, the thing is, like, he can never get around you, and if he ever gets stuck on your front, he instantly dies. Fortunately for him, he's surviving long enough, but it's just like, there's no way to take this back. He did manage to do a lot of damage to your back thrusters, but it's like, it's not going to count for anything. You can still track him better than he can move around you.
Yeah, when there were two ships, he almost flanked me, and it was almost over right there, but
Yeah,
managed to get free.
I think that as soon as you lose your flanking power, you're probably going to be out for the count. Unless you get stuck on, don't tell me you get stuck on an asteroid. Oh, that's a good way to instantly lose a huge advantage, I guess.
Well, Kawa using every trick that he knows.
Yes, definitely not giving up too early. This is winnable. It's just I wouldn't be trying. Gonna continue to take ship damage from the sides. It's taking good advantage, always maintaining his thrust, whereas you have to turn yours off and turn it back on to turn, unless you're
Yeah,
moving forward. So
I'm trying to keep mine ramped up so that I don't get caught turning and overturn,
yeah,
but it's also hard to stay on target with now an even smaller target.
you can get him stuck here. No, I think that's it. Yep, rough.
Or is it?
That has to be it. How does he get? No, no. Always stays behind targets. That's okay. Well, excellent match, I must say.
He thought he was gonna get behind me.
Ab-
I thought he was gonna get behind me.
I've never seen him just like slide off of a ship like that. Well, you play so risky with the asteroid.
Using it there for a little bump.
You do not need to be anywhere near the asteroid. You can just wait in the center. Chasing him is a way to give him a victory. Okay, I think he's stuck here. Yeah, that's it. Anthrax wins. Ay, 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 that was scary.
Oh, tell me about it.
Space Cat is a well-known player, has been here for probably the longest, one of the oldest players. I've known him. One of my first experiences with Cosmeteer has been completely shattered by the guy. Was being completely shattered by the guy. So it's always cathartic to see him lose.
All right.
And yeah, he doesn't have any armor, so his shields are just gonna get worn through. But ions are kind of bad against shields, so if he had more shields, he might survive, but he does not, unfortunately.
Yeah, this was way closer than I was comfortable with. If you notice, my reactor is right there.
Ah, yes, you did lose a shield. I do love that ion matches are very typically explosive and fast, which appears to have also been the case with the other match, because when I came back over here, it's just Kine with 1/3 segment left and call it full health. Yes, I actually got second place in my first tournament, and can you guess who won? Who got first place?
Was it Space Cat?
It was Space Cat. But he deserved the win. I made really bad mistakes. He definitely deserved it. So I would say that Kawa was looking a lot worse for wear compared to you. Like a hole in his ship is doubly bad for him because it's
Well, there's actually going to be even worse damage coming up here.
well, I mean, of course, you guys are gonna fight to the death, but Kawa can't really take advantage of the hole in your front like you can his. So yeah, I would bet on you this time, um, compared to how the last match went, because he's always in a much worse position here. But I guess it is also Kawa, so he just has to get behind you once, and you have to mess up once, and then he wins.
Yeah, all it takes is one mistake, and Kawa is an amazing pilot.
Yeah, because of how fast orbital walls are, the cannon but storage fall. That's an interesting name. Because of how fast it is, it can just like get out of bad situations. So the game is so much more forgiving for him to ever fight. Here you go. You don't have your prisms on by default.
No.
Well, you miss some damage whenever you engage in combat or such, but see what I mean about the random holes though? It's just like it's well, that's the type of orbital thing I'm used to. Oh, he's gonna catch it.
Oh, the hook! The
Yeah,
hook!
I've been subjected to that maneuver many times. Fortunately, seem to be getting out of it somewhat. Yeah, there you go. So you managed to survive. That's not often a survivable thing, and it's gonna go back the other way. You probably should have committed to a spin there, at least sooner anyway.
Yeah, I should have committed sooner.
Fortunately, you're not punished too hard for it. The gaps on Kawa's front are continuing to cause him problems because you just destroy more parts every time you pass over those areas. Locked on the front of his ship, but you don't want to be locked on one of the edges like that.
Melted off that hook. Make sure I don't get stuck on it again.
Oh yeah, that's a good move. Now you're gonna still be able to do it, but not as effectively because there's nothing to do. And that is a stuck. Right? Yeah, he's gonna split off.
Either way, just as last match, trying desperately to stay on target, desperately trying not to get flanked. Finally get him, and then splits.
Oof, Kawa over shoots it and cannot flank you properly. And the other ship is looking a lot worse for wear. Not very many weapons, and that reactor is kind of exposed. Probably best to start focusing on the other ship, I would say. So you can get the kill, but I mean, I think Kawa is probably DCing the full health one and gave an RTS command to the other one. because of how relatively dead it is. Oof, oof, oof. Oh my.
Oh, almost got behind me again.
Almost. Is it dead yet?
I know, right?
Okay, it doesn't have any control
Still
points.
alive.
It doesn't have any control points, so it shouldn't be a problem anymore. The one chip, and
All
I
right, now to
think,
hit the small, fast-moving target.
yeah, I think that this is the same situation as last one, where theoretically Kawa wins, but it's extremely improbable.
Notice he's heading straight for the asteroid, pulling
Yes,
the same tricks.
I mean the old tricks are the best tricks.
The rock always provides.
I think that you don't have to be moving forward as much as you are. Like you could focus on turning a little bit more because you just have to like shoot at him and don't have to like ram him. Oof. Have to commit to a turn there instead of facing against him.
I was missing half my thrust on that side.
I suppose that's true. Probably gonna be better to spin than try and counter turn instead. Pretty good ram. Got rid of some of his side armor. Start hitting thrusters. That's a good glazing. Damage, but it did stretch pressure the shields. Oh, trying desperately to not get stuck, and fortunately for him, rolls off again.
If he would just hold still, but no, he insists on piloting circles around me like a champ.
What he's good for. He's starting to take damage where his shields aren't, though, and cutting through sides, getting thrusters. And the chip damage over time is going to benefit you a lot more via the rod.
Finally took out a couple thrusters, stopped his turning just enough.
While realizing that the jig is probably up and starts trying to break through your front, I think, but unfortunately does not have the capacity to have a concentrated shot. At least not anymore.
Still never giving up.
Well, you never give up if you think you can win, and he still very much could win under the right circumstances. But I don't think that's it. Three thrusters. Still holding on because you didn't ram him properly there. But there you go. No thrust. One
Hey,
one
you
thrust
try
still
to
left.
ram a fast little orbital wall.
I don't play with Kawa. He beats me. It's not fun to play against those orbital walls.
Exactly, they're hard. But a very well played game by Kawa.
Yes.
Incredibly difficult to play against.
Yes. Great games. Definitely share more of your replays. You give very good replays, I would say. These two matches have been great. Yeah, I expect him to take no damage from this fight because Space Cat's ships aren't fast enough to launch the nukes from undodgeable positions. And like Space Cat already seems to know this and isn't launching them because like all you have to do is move forward into a slight curve and then nukes will never hit you. It's yeah, understandably Space Cat forfeits. That's probably what most would do. The chances of him winning, them winning, I don't know, are not something I would bet on anyway. Probably doing a victory spin, I guess. Want to hear a joke in the meantime?
Let's hear it.
What's gray and can't swim?
I don't know.
Castles.
What? What?
Castles can't
How does
swim.
that? Well, yeah, but
You see, it's funny because it's not remotely funny.
oh my god, I hate it.
You see, being conventionally funny is for losers when you can be unconventionally funny and technically not funny at all.
So, considering those PD aren't hooked up to be recharged in any way, there's 38 of them.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they can shoot for like a solid 6 seconds or something on 2 batteries. It's like it's pretty ridiculous. Like that's a worthwhile investment, I would say. Because the space on Kawa's ship is the surface area is well contested. Like it is a very condensed ship, which is what you want, where all of the surface area is being used. Like the armor, the shields, the projectile weapons on the front, the thrusters on the back. So to incorporate that PD somewhere, you would have to make the ship wider, which not only is there not space, wow, kind forfeit, and I predicted it. Not only would you have to sacrifice tightness of your ship, which is pretty good just on average, like it might not even fit in the build box, it would also worsen the logistics for everything to make it wider to fit in PD on the back. So Kawa's sheer presence alone, scaring two of the competitors to death.
Yeah, that's 2-0 for Kawa from 0 damage taken. I mean, it's incredible performance so far.
Zero to death true combo from Kawa. Make your just make your opponent's forfeit. Not sure what he's doing now. Just running away, kiting. One of the moves ever.
Trying not to get hit by a deck cannon volley. You see how many deck cannons there are? That's
Well,
gonna be a devastating hit if they connect. And
best.
wow.
Wow, you weren't kidding. I didn't expect deck cannons to hit him. I'm so used to them being like kind of bad in all honesty, because they so infrequently hit things. But I guess Call was just gonna stand there and like let him hit him. Not sure. Oh, that's so rough. I think Call was gonna have to separate. Like he already separated with the dead chunk, but like there's no way he can get around that ship, or yeah, get around it. So he's probably gonna split, I suspect. Oh, it's still
I
alive.
just want to say keep an eye on that little fragment. It's still alive.
Yeah, I saw a cannon shot. It hit armor, unfortunately, but oh well, always resourceful. Oh well, why split your two existing ships when you still have a ship that can distract? Boost, understandably used, it will not be enough. Hook is putting in good work, and the boost is almost out. Boost is out. Kawa is still in a great position.
Still got that hook in the corner.
Kawa is not aiming his cannons currently, for some reason. Two on his left flank can still be targeting. Is that gonna be a rock? No. They're fortunately blessed with a rockless day. The cannon's taking advantage of their full rotation arc, and that is a rock. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
surprisingly, the deck cannons were able to shoot all the way at the side and almost behind the ship.
Yeah, they have like 270 degrees of targeting, so they're pretty good at dealing with flanking targets. So I suspect those cannon shots are going to be lethal. Something. Oof. Oh, just face tanking the deck cannon shots is probably not what he wants to be doing.
16 deck cannons, by the way.
16, oh my. It's it's almost enough DACA. Sometimes people think they have enough DACA. This is one of those examples. Continues to just eat the shells that are shoved down his throat. Oh my. Gets behind him properly for once. Fortunately, the boost is well used. Excellent use of boost from King Noah. King Noah is a very good player, I would say. Unfortunately, the slow, subtle knife is the one that is most lethal. Well demonstrated by Kawa. And it gets both of them? No, okay, well.
The unbelievable 3v1 insane clutch finish.
Yeah, Kawa 3v1. I don't. I'm speechless. That was excellent match.
Yeah, well done, Kawa. I mean, well played by everybody, but
Yeah,
Kawa,
it's like
jeez.
Kawa took no damage, used no ammo for 2 fights. I'm impressed. Oh wow. So viewers started submitting games for me, and this is apparently from Salus, I'm pretty sure. So I have no idea what's going to happen. Very exciting.
It's a team game.
It's definitely a limb at the very least.
Uh-oh, I see Salus in Art of the Blade, and I've
Yes.
seen him do terrible, terrible things in other videos.
So as the recent-ish team tournament established, the rail orbiters are probably the best things because they're really fast and can very easily snipe opponents from behind, which instantly kills them. So my money would be on Salephz, especially since he submitted this game.
Safe bet. I'm gonna go with Salus as well. But let's see what the other team can bring.
I do love the Harmony by Rosehip. It looks very cool. I think Rosehip along with Yugi are some of the Chinese players of the community, which is very cool.
Yep, can confirm.
Unfortunately, um, you do not want to be up against deck cannon rammers as a, well, that was a nice shot, as a rail orbiter because they will just ram you and then you get stuck and then die because you can't deal with that much armor. Sal's already ripping through checkered from the Russian player. I can't read that, sorry.
Yeah, flying right past.
And Yugi getting nukes from the side as well as deck cannons. He was probably too focused on trying to kill Checkered's Lob 1. Fortunately loses 2 of his 4 rails. Then the other 2. Oh, that's a dead man. Over here, we appear to have another Chinese player with a very impressive looking ion ship, which is turning the wrong way. And now has deck cannons behind it. I wanted to see it actually cut through something. At least its ions weren't on and it managed to survive.
Hey, wait a minute.
What?
I think I've seen this game before.
I would not know where. Watch much cause material.
I think this was in Battleship Brawlers.
Well, Salus sent it to me, so I'm gonna cast it. You can deal with it. Uh, Salus in a somewhat bad position of being rammed by the deck cannon, Kosmovich doing a good job of preventing the other one from getting behind him by turning the Art of the Blade, the first one anyway, which then gets flanked and is killed. It has no control room, I'm pretty sure.
And then there was one.
I wouldn't count it out though. Salus knows what he's doing. Pretty good player. Has fired 2 pretty good shots on the Harmony 14. Kind of abandons the rest of his teammates. It's mostly just him left. Sad Fox with the ion ship that is no longer there. All of the
Just
prisms
got
explode.
deleted.
All of the prisms explode. Rail Orbiter doing Rail Orbiter things just kills a player randomly from behind. Should equal up the match. Hopefully doesn't get hit from the side. Manages to survive. Oh, the smaller rail ship that is currently dying is also Salephz's. So that was probably
I
Court.
didn't even see that.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was Yuki's paint style, so I'd assumed it wasn't his. The rail orbiter takes down another ship. Exactly what I would have been afraid of from the other team. Loses the other one, probably DCing the Art of the Blade, which is understandable. It should be his main focus. And the issue I see is that even though Salus has done a significant amount of damage and can kill Rosehip, I don't think that he can do much at all, anything to Kosmonovich. Cause I don't know, can PD it from behind, I guess.
I think he would be able to get around the side of it
Maybe? I don't know.
because it's wide.
Kosmanovich was demonstrating a lot of competence in what he was piloting and such, so I don't think he'll allow that unless he gets stuck on an ally, of course. Might be a problem.
Salephz trying to come around wide to get an angle for the shot on Harmony.
Yeah, I think that's the third time he's done this to try and get an angle. Fortunately, they're turning quickly enough to probably block it with all the armor that is in the way.
You can see all the armor that's been removed from consecutive volleys working his way through.
The exploded deck cannon. Checkered is doing an excellent job harassing Salus. That's exactly what you want to be doing, is taking away their control and power. I wouldn't be pushing them away from your allies, though.
Checkered MVP ally getting Salephz around the side
Oh
for a better
no!
shot on Rosehip.
Oh no. It's unfortunate. But it might pay off. No, Salus is too fast. That's part of the appeal of rail orbiters, is that they move super quickly. You cannot really catch them. And even if you do get one like stuck on your front, they can typically tank it for long enough to then get out of the problem area. Kosmanovich might take damage here. No, rotates quickly enough. Salus is still playing very safely, I would say. The Ring of Death is shrinking pretty slowly, I would say. Has 4 minutes to wrap it up, essentially.
And has been playing incredibly well.
Yes, he's been doing a fantastic job. The opposing team doesn't seem to have much in terms of tactics or coordination, unfortunately. They just seem to be trying to all run at Salus. Reminds me of Rocket League in a certain sense. Um, which is being somewhat successful. Salus is running out of side armor on his left flank. Checkered needs to be in front of Salus and not behind him, I'd say. The
I'm
mini
not sure what's going on there. Ooh, there's the shot. Hit the reactor.
that's essentially a dead ship. It could still fire nukes and the cannons, but after a certain extent, it will run out of energy for its control rooms, as well as thrusters. So it's essentially dead. Salus may also fire shots. If he were really cool, he would have split the targeting between his 3 rails each to take out the control rooms.
No, I think what's happening is Salus is using the corpse of his enemy to block Kosmanovich's shots.
Probably try and get him stuck on ramming it so he can't maneuver properly. That seems to be occurring. Let's nukes fire through the ship and fail to do so. And now Checkered is stuck as well. Let's see if Kosmanovich can get off of him at the very least. So it's gonna be rough. South, nah,
Uh-oh.
I don't think he's gonna get it.
It's lining up the perfect shot.
Oof. I think with that, there is no longer any chance of Team 1 winning.
So, yeah, Salus 1v everybody that game.
This is a pretty good example of why rail orbiters are completely broken in team matches.
Yeah, insanely powerful and insanely good performance from Salus.
Yes. It's nothing less than what I would expect of him. Could probably kill Checkered to speed things up, probably take pot shots from inside the ring, but really already won. Like, I don't think they can do anything to stop him at this point.
I just noticed there's the one tiny ship glitched into the armor of Checkered's ship.
Yes, Cosmeteer is known to sometimes clip things into one another at times.
Besides that, yeah, looking like he's waiting out rod damage.
Salus is not technically wasting ammo because rails are super ammo efficient. They're not going to be running out of ammo. The paint job on the Art of the Blade is actually based off of Eno Shade's paint job, which has since apparently just been copied onto it. But that paint is by me. Colors were modified, but it was by me.
I thought it looked familiar.
And
And GG to
eh,
Salad.
and team one lost versus Salus.